All right, now we're just gonna let the pressure off slow, make sure there's no binding in any of the clutches or steels, and you'll see this whole thing raise up. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Moonbuilt Garage. So if you watched the last video that I did on the D100 project, you'll know that I attempted to replace the overdrive section of the 46RH that I had swapped into this truck. But I ran into a problem. Inside the overdrive section, there are two sets of splines, and they became misaligned. So I wasn't able to actually insert the mid shaft into the overdrive section. It just wouldn't go in all the way. I'll show a clip of that misalignment from the last video. So when that happened, I could either have taken the overdrive section to a shop and have them fix it, or I could order the tools to do it myself. And that's what I did. So I ordered, it's an alignment shaft. Basically, it's just a cut down mid shaft. That way you use that when reassembling the overdrive, and that keeps those two sets of splines aligned. I also ordered the tool to go in the press to help get the overdrive section apart. Now, so today what I want to do is I'm going to tear into both those overdrive sections. The first one, my original one, I want to see if I can figure out why the overdrive was running hot. The transmission ran great until it went into overdrive, and then the temperature would go up. So I want to see if maybe there's some worn clutches in there, see if I can see any signs of slippage, anything like that. So I'm going to tear that overdrive section apart. I'm also going to tear apart the second one that I was going to install on the truck to see if I can get those splines aligned and get everything put back together. What I'm probably going to end up doing is kind of mixing and matching parts. I'm probably going to take the best of both, combine them into one, and then put it all back together into the case. So let's get started. All right, here you can see I got everything set up in my press. This is the overdrive drum out of my original overdrive section. So this is the one that was running hot. So here's the bracket that I ordered, and this just fits right into this section here. Gives me a nice sturdy surface to press down on. Now this is like it's like a 400 or 600 pound spring in this overdrive section. So this is like a grenade just ready to go off. You gotta be really careful doing this. I've seen guys, take this apart with like a section of PVC pipe and a cap, which if that works for you, that's great. I just decided to go ahead and order this since I also ordered the alignment tool from the same company. So what I'm gonna do is there's two rings or two like clips. I'm gonna compress the spring. There's a ring right here that comes out, and there's also one on this inner spline section that needs to come out. So I'm gonna compress those, and then once those rings are out, this thing, you gotta let the pressure off real slow, make sure there's no binding, or else this thing could just, take you out. So yeah, this is a bomb. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cross my fingers, and hopefully this goes well. All right, so I'm not compressing it too far, just enough to get in here and get these rings out. So there's one, if I can find the edge. Sorry for blocking the camera, guys. There it is. So there's one here. Can you guys see my hand shaking? I'm a little nervous. All right, this is the first time I've ever done this. All right, there's the one ring. And the second one is right here. All right, there's the second ring. That's a wavy ring, and that one will get replaced. All right, now we're just gonna let the pressure off slow, make sure there's no binding in any of the clutches or steels, and you'll see this whole thing raise up. There you go. Pressure is off. Remove that. And now all this, I can put it back on the bench and all this will come apart. There's the spring right there. That's the guy you got to watch out for. All right, so I've got both sets of overdrive sections torn apart. This one over here is my original, and that was the one that I was going to install. So some differences. First, this drum, the ring or the groove along the inside of the drum here where that wavy ring sits, holding everything together, is further out towards the edge of the drum, whereas that one sits in a little bit more. And what that does is it allows this drum to actually hold more clutches and steels. This one actually has 8 clutches in it, whereas that one only has 5. So I'm going to run this drum. Also, I found that this drum here, it's got some surface rust on the top here. It's not bad. You can definitely feel it. So another reason why I'm going to run that drum. Now, I did find when I was looking at these clutches and steels, a couple of these, I'll try to show it, seem to show indication of some discoloration. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up on the camera here, but like that steel there, that one there, definitely have signs of discoloration. I don't know if that's from heat, slippage, both possibly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these clutches and steels, some of the better ones out of this, because a couple of these are a little discolored also, not nearly as bad. So I'm just going to mix and match. I have actually taken my calipers and just verified that all the clutches and steels, the clutches in this pack are the same thickness as the clutches in that pack, and same with the steels. So I know that there's no difference, that everything should just transfer right over. So I'm going to kind of mix and match those parts. That one may have been slipping, and that might be what caused my temperature issues with this overdrive. I'm also going to reuse this case instead of this one. This is my original case. It's just in better condition. This one has some rough casting to it, which made it really hold on to a lot of the dirt and grime, and it's just been really difficult to get clean. This one, just a lot cleaner. So I'm going to run this case. Now, since I'm in here, I'm also going to be doing an upgrade. So there's this part here. I forget what this is called exactly. I'll try to, maybe I'll leave it on the bottom of the screen. But this actually seats down inside here. And there are, what, 4 like spider gears, I guess. And that sits in there. So these come in different varieties. I think you can get them all the way up. I think like the 48 RHs or REs out of this, some of the diesels. I think they actually have 6 pinions. But I did buy an upgraded one that actually has 5. And I've already dropped it in there. I know it fits. It drops right in. It's a direct replacement. There we go. Everything lines up. So I am going to run that set of gears instead. So I still got to lube these up and get these ready to install. But other than that, everything else looks really good. On the spring here, so here's that 600-pound spring. It's got a bearing right here. Everything in here looks really good. I'm just going to clean everything up and get everything ready to go back together. So yeah, I guess next time I will see you back on the press, putting all the clutches and steels back into the drum. All right, so when you start your reassembly, when you drop that spider gear assembly, whatever that thing's called, down inside there, this is where you need to use this alignment tool. So there's 2 sets of splines. There's splines inside the spider gear, and then there's splines, I think it's a sun gear, below it. And this is what became misaligned in that other overdrive section. So you need to take this alignment tool, put this down in there. So there you can hear it's hitting that second set of gears, or the second set of splines. Just rotate it. Now everything's aligned. So now I can go ahead and I can start putting in all my clutches and steels. I'm going to leave this in here until I'm at the very point where I'm ready to press it all together, just so I don't misalign anything. But yeah, you can't obviously compress the spring and put those rings back in with the tool in place. So once you remove this, you just gotta be real careful not to joggle anything, not to misalign those splines. So apparently you can compress everything with the alignment tool in there. Who knew? All right, so I'm ready to take this out of the press and get everything back into the overdrive housing. All right guys, there you can see everything is back together and ready to get slammed into the truck. You saw that I just kind of mix and matched the clutches and steels from both sets that I had to hopefully make a set that will have fixed all of my overheating issues with the overdrive. We'll see. So this thing is ready to get slammed back in the truck. Appreciate you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you on the next one.